You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7. Many in the 4 states spent the yesterday enjoying the day off. Our very own Amber Jenkins shares how one Joplin group chose to celebrate.
Also, President Biden is facing mounting pressure to step down after last week's debate. We'll have the details on his future plans.
And take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Nothing out there but ground clutter and a few clouds. A pretty nice day ahead of us. We'll have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Friday, July the 5th.
Yes, it's Friday, and then tomorrow is Saturday, and then Sunday
Comes afterward.
Exactly.
It does. So I hope you are prepared to get down on this Friday, because most of you probably have a 4-day weekend and it's going to be a beautiful day.
It really is.
Get down.
Yes. And you know, bike lovers yesterday in Joplin were celebrating Independence Day as they hung out at the Hideout and Harley-Davidson dealership.
KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
And that's the sound of freedom, according to Harley-Davidson in Joplin.
The American freedom and riding the motorcycle is your own personal freedom.
The Harley-Davidson crew wanted to celebrate Independence Day with hot dogs and bikes.
Today we're open on the 4th, which not a lot of Harley-Davidson dealerships are, so we're super thankful to be open today and serve our community. So we're offering hot dogs and just kind of hanging out with the crew, all that good stuff. We enjoy having people out and just hanging out with them.
According to the manager, Harley's been a part of American culture for more than a century.
Motorcycles, there's nothing more American than a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, right? They were established in 1903, so they've been around for a long, long time. Fun fact, Ford Motor Company was also started in 1903, so we kind of go way back, so it's nice to have that long-running establishment in the United States.
Most motorcycle lovers agree that revving on an open road is freedom.
It can be a little toasty at times riding in this hot weather, but as long as you're out riding around, you're gonna enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I love going out and feeling the wind in my hair, and it's awesome.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, Hideout Harley-Davidson's 4th of July Grill and Chill ended at 2 p.m.
Certainly a lot of fun, and today is an even better day to ride a motorcycle.
Yes.
Boy, lately nice out there. It's been really hot, and I see these guys on the highway, and I know riding a motorcycle has got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine the volume of fun on a highway. It's
really
70
fun.
miles an hour.
You get the wind blowing, maybe cool yourself
but you also
off a
have
little
bugs.
bit.
I mean, think of how many bugs hit your windshield. How many are hitting their face shield? I can't imagine riding a motorcycle. But I've never been on a motorcycle.
It's really fun.
I'm sure it is. But I just don't know that it's fun on the highway. Just saying.
Maybe you should find out.
We'll do that experiment at some point. But if you are riding a motorcycle, you've got the top down, the windows down, whatever the case may be, today's the best day to do it. For the first time in a while, no dangerous heat. This is a live look from our camera, Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. A few clouds out there as the sun is rising, and from 7th and Range Line, look off to the north. Clear blue skies, and we're going to continue to see these skies clear out as we go through the day. And MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line, looking fairly good as well. Future track for today, other than showing us a few clouds heading into the afternoon and evening hours, that's really about it. And even then, by the evening, most of those clouds are gone. We'll have a light northwesterly breeze. It's going to be a relatively pleasant day out there. Temperatures across the area. Take a look at some of these temperatures. It is so nice. Low 60s, mid 60s out to the north and east, and you go a little further south, you get into the low 70s out there. We're looking at highs right around the mid 80s. It'll still be a bit humid, but not nearly as muggy as it has been the last few days. So a great day to get outside and enjoy it before the dangerous heat returns, because unfortunately it will. We don't want to forget that it is still July across the area, and it will start to feel like it again soon. We'll take another full look at your forecast, talk about some weekend rain chances, and when that dangerous heat returns in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, fire crews in Carthage, Missouri Wednesday night battled a house fire authorities blame on improperly disposed of fireworks. It started around 10:50 p.m. on Island Lane west of Carthage. When crews arrived, they found fire and smoke coming out of the right rear side of the newly constructed home near the garage doors. By the time they began battling it, the fire had moved to the roof line. The family inside got out safely. Investigators say preliminary evidence shows the fire started because of fireworks in a nearby trash can, which caught fire. The 4th of July celebrations continue in Carl Junction yesterday. The city put on its 4th of July parade early yesterday morning to kick off Independence Day festivities. The parade began on Broadway and ended on Main Street. Those who wanted to participate in the parade were able to do so free of charge. Organizers say it's a great way to celebrate our country and those who serve.
Well, we just love to honor our veterans, the people who signed that blank check for their life and service to our country, and we want a way to celebrate that as a community and just get together and have a good time.
Spending time with your family, you know. Really enjoyed the time here in Carl Junction, and it's just fun time.
Prizes for those who participated in the parade were also given out. President Joe Biden faces mounting pressure to address his viability for another term in office. The Biden-Harris campaign, as well as the White House team, are doing damage control, explaining Biden's debate performance and shutting down rumors that Biden is considering stepping aside to make way for another Democratic nominee.
Nearly a week after this election year's first presidential debate,
he's the worst president in the history of our country. What are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
President Joe Biden can't seem to live his debate performance down.
Hi. Is President Biden considering stepping down?
Absolutely not.
For the second day in a row, the White House held a briefing to explain Biden's debate performance and dispel claims that Biden is contemplating quitting the race. The team claimed Biden's debate performance was a result of being jet-lagged from his travel schedule, and they said he had a cold on debate day.
It was a bad night. We understand that it was a bad night. And the president has spoken to this. And he understands that.
Biden himself conceded at a rally Friday that he is up in age.
I know I'm not a young man. I don't debate as well as I used to.
And while politicians on both sides of the aisle have called for him to step aside,
I think everyone can see the objective fact that we have been discussing here for a long, long time, that President Biden is not up to the job.
The president and the vice president met with Democratic governors Wednesday. In a post-meeting press conference, governor spokespersons representing the governors said they stick beside him.
The president is our nominee. The president is our party leader. And the president has told us, and he was very clear back there, that he is in this to win this.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The president has privately acknowledged that the next stretch of days are critical to whether he can save his re-election bid for president. Coming up next, Russia is being blamed for spreading disinformation about the upcoming Paris Olympics. We'll have the details. We'll be right back, but before we head to break, here's a live look from Baxter Springs ahead of their Light Up the Sky celebration at Kiwanis Park. Topping World Watch, President Joe Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday. The two leaders talked about progress on a potential ceasefire in the war in Gaza and a potential hostage deal with Hamas. Sources say Vice President Kamala Harris was also on the half-hour telephone call. Harris has joined Biden in speaking with the Israeli Prime Minister more than 20 times since the October 7th Hamas attack. A senior administration official says the framework for a ceasefire and hostage release agreement is in place, but the deal has not been finalized or assured. Biden and Netanyahu last spoke on May 6th. The leaders are expected to meet in Washington in several weeks when the Israeli Prime Minister visits to address Congress. Paul Whelan is spending another Independence Day inside a Russian prison. On Thursday, he called for President Joe Biden to handle the matter as if his own son was being held hostage. Whelan was arrested in Moscow in 2018 and later sentenced to 16 years on espionage charges. He has repeatedly denied the claims against him. The U.S. State Department has declared Whelan is being wrongfully detained. We're learning more about what some say is a Russian disinformation campaign targeting the upcoming Paris Olympics. A report says Moscow's tactics are evolving, including the use of artificial intelligence to imitate a famous American actor's voice. Fox News foreign policy correspondent Jillian Turner takes a look.
We have been working with the French government for some time to ensure a safe, secure Olympics.
The State Department says Russia is already trying to scare Americans attending the Paris Olympics this summer using disinformation warfare.
It's especially not surprising that they're doing it with respect to the Olympics, where their athletes are banned from competing under the Russian flag because of the Kremlin's long history of abusing fair competition in the Olympics.
Take a look at this deep fake of Hollywood actor Tom Cruise appearing to insult the International Olympic Committee overseeing the Games. This fake press release warns the public of terror attacks in Paris this summer. And this fabricated news clip claiming nearly a quarter of Paris 2024 tickets have been returned due to fears of terrorism. All these forgeries created by an infamous Russia-affiliated influence actor known as Storm 1679. French President Emmanuel Macron sent out warning flares 2 months ago, telling reporters he had no doubt whatsoever Russia would try to ruin the Paris Games. The Russian embassy in Paris says the accusations are false. The Kremlin is echoing that message.
Such messages are simply sweeping criticism, which has no basis in argument or anything. It has nothing to do with reality. This is absolute slander and nothing more.
In Washington, Jillian Turner, Fox News.
That's a look at our top World Watch stories. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, taking a look from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Beautiful start to the day, much more manageable temperatures out there. However, this pleasant weather won't last forever. We're going to have another full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. And a little later, a Michigan golfer is gaining recognition ahead of the U.S. Adaptive Open. More on that. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:16 now on this finally Friday in the 4 states. And we're starting with a live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Got a northwesterly breeze out there, still a few clouds, but those will begin to gradually clear out as we head in the afternoon and evening hours. Another view of some of the clearing skies off to the north from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. A little further south, MoDOT camera 32nd and Rangeline. Getting a few more cars on the road. Folks probably having a 4-day weekend. This is a great day to enjoy being outside because it's the first day in a long time without some dangerous heat to worry about. And we got sunny skies down in Neosho as well from MoDOT camera at 60 and Missouri 59. All right, future track for today shows the clouds, and again as we head into the evening hours they will clear out and we will have mostly clear skies and a northwesterly breeze as we head into the afternoon and evening tonight. As we head into our Friday, winds will eventually shift out of the south. That's going to begin to usher in some warmer temperatures, so that's why I'm saying really enjoy today. We're going to be about 90 tomorrow, maybe a couple of low 90s in there. Otherwise sunny skies and not bad, just a little hotter across the area. Then as we head into Sunday, we're going to heat up a little bit more. Then we could see some pop-up showers and thunderstorms out there. These would be isolated to widely scattered at best, and we could see a couple of stronger storms, small hail, some gusty winds. We're not anticipating any kind of widespread severe weather or anything like that as we head through our Sunday, and that'll continue with those isolated pop-up showers and storms as we go late evening and into the overnight hours toward Monday morning as well. In Joplin right now, 69 degrees. The wind is calm at the airport, but as you saw in the Cornell camera, it is we got a bit of a northwesterly breeze. Pretty cool temperatures, especially across southeastern Kansas, low to mid 60s, and as you sink a little further south and east, we're starting to see the low 70s across the area. But again, much better than where we have been the last several days. And again, today we don't have any heat advisories or anything out there, so a great day to enjoy the outdoors. Variable clouds through the morning 81 by 11 o'clock. And as we head into the afternoon, our highs at or even just a degree or two below average into the mid 80s across the area. It's still going to be a bit on the muggy side, but thanks to the storms, they cleared out some of that moisture, so not nearly as humid as what it has been here lately. So we're not worried about any dangerous heat index values either. Heading into this evening, as we mentioned, the clouds will begin to clear across the area, and then maybe a passing cloud or two overnight. Another comfortable evening, maybe an opportunity to give the AC a break, open up the windows, and enjoy the cool temps back into the mid 60s. And you want to do it now because, again, the dangerous heat, it's going to start to return again. Now tomorrow, 90, sunny, pop-up storms Sunday and Monday, low 90s Sunday, a little cooler on Monday. And then, as I mentioned, the heat starts to come back. We'll go back into the mid, maybe even upper 90s as we head toward the end of next week. And we've got some additional pop-up storms as we head into next weekend as well. That is a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this. A Michigan man was left partially paralyzed after he was involved in a car accident in 2006.
But as Fox's Camilla Mary reports, he's not letting his paralysis stop him from preparing for the U.S. Adaptive Open.
It's mostly you against yourself, to be honest.
Jimmy Mosheri, a rising star in the world of adaptive golf.
All 3 tournaments I've done, I've been top 10, and I've been competing with them really well. So it's been a great time. How you guys doing?
We met up with Mosheri Tuesday afternoon at Cherry Creek Golf Course in Shelby Township as he prepares for the U.S. Adaptive Open, where he will compete against the top adaptive golfers in the country.
I've seen so many amazing golfers that lost their leg or lost their arm or born with some, or cerebral palsy. You name it. I've seen some really, really good golfers. It's pretty amazing. Even though I'm one of the athletes, I'm looking at these guys like, wow, they are really, really good.
Mosheri is paralyzed from the waist down, a result of a car accident 18 years ago. A gifted athlete before the crash, the Rochester Hills native is determined not to let his disability get in the way of living a full life.
Just to get out there and try different things. It's amazing to see all the different avenues and things that you can do even after a traumatic injury of any sort.
As he continues to advance in his sport, Mosheri is looking for partnerships and sponsors.
Unfortunately, golf is pretty expensive. This unit's very expensive. The golf clubs are very expensive. Unfortunately, it's not cheap, but I definitely love doing it, so I'm looking for some help with that stuff.
Certainly an impressive story of just overcoming the odds and getting out there and doing what you love.
Yes, and best of luck to him as he prepares to compete.
Certainly.
Well, coming up, Hurricane Beryl has left behind a wake of destruction in the Caribbean. We'll have the latest on where it's headed next.
And we've got ourselves an absolutely beautiful day across the area, and then it's going to start to heat back up. Another look at that forecast coming up when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. I'm Elise Noe. The city of Pittsburgh had a wide variety of events to celebrate our nation's birthday. Early yesterday morning, they had a 5K run, a fishing derby, and a pickleball tournament. Then a little later, they had a baby contest, a bocce tournament, and a $1 swim day at the Aquatic Center, all while arts, crafts, and food vendors were set up for people to enjoy.
It gives the community opportunity to come out for activities that are already planned. They don't have to think about what in the world are we going to do on 4th of July. It's already planned and it's inexpensive. A lot of our fees are less than $5 to go do the fishing derby or come to the baby contest.
The event also offered live music, and the annual city firework display was postponed due to the rain. Pittsburgh residents will be able to enjoy the show tonight at 10 p.m. Well, folks in Hepler, Kansas had their own celebration yesterday. This was the second day of their Ruritan Club Rodeo. However, there were plenty of Independence Day themed events yesterday morning, including a parade themed swimming through history and a cakewalk and kids games.
It's a great event because you have it's family friendly, so there's stuff for the kids to do. Like I said, you can support our 4-H club and the community of Hepler.
The rodeo kicked off at 8 p.m. with a fireworks display after that. Well, over in Carthage, residents had a full slate of activities planned yesterday. It kicked off with a 5K run, a free swim day, and there were plenty of food vendors as well as face painting, karaoke in the park, and a watermelon feed.
Really want all of our events is everybody to take away good family fun, bring your family out, have a bounce in the bounce house, sing some karaoke, stay at 7 and start the band that we have.
The event was hosted in Carthage's Municipal Park. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Now we've got a nice start to the day out there. We had the very hot, muggy, miserable day yesterday. Then we got some strong to severe thunderstorms last night. And today, boy, it is beautiful. Take a look from our camera 7th and range line in Joplin. Just a few clouds out there, and temperature's nice as well. Looking pretty good from MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. Also plentiful sunshine. Future track heading through to this afternoon into this evening. We've got the variable clouds out there, and those will begin to completely clear out later this afternoon into the evening hours. And we'll just have a few stray clouds overnight tonight. Temperatures this morning, they're starting to gradually warm up, but it is a gradual warm up. Still low mid 60s across most of southeastern Kansas, and we get into the upper 60s, low 70s the further south and east you go, with a nice light northwesterly breeze. Today, again, variable clouds, and they'll eventually begin to clear out as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Still going to be a bit muggy, but not nearly as bad as what it has been the last few days. That's why we don't have any heat advisories. We don't have any concerns for dangerous heat index values. It's going to be a relatively pleasant day, so if you've got a 4-day weekend, today's the day to get out and enjoy it. Mid 80s for our highs out there as well. Dangerous heat does start to make a return to the forecast. It is still July after all. We'll break down those details for you and some weekend rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Hurricane Beryl pummeled the Cayman Islands early Thursday after leaving behind devastation on some Caribbean islands. Fox Weather's Robert Ray is in Jamaica to share what's next for the storm.
I am anxious and a bit scared.
Hurricane Beryl continuing its devastating trek through the Caribbean on Thursday, stirring up gusty winds and dangerous storm surge on the Cayman Islands. Officials say a dozen shelters are open and crews are standing by for a major cleanup.
Clearing major roadways for emergency services and civilians to get through, as well as possible search and rescue efforts.
Beryl now rumbling toward Mexico's Caribbean coast, at times packing winds as high as 125 miles per hour. Forecasters expect the storm to make landfall early Friday south of the popular tourist spot Tulum. People are boarding up homes and businesses and rushing to grocery stores to stock up on supplies, though some tourists say they're not worried.
We'll be staying here because our flight's not due home till Monday. And I think we'll just take advice from the hotel and the reps that are there, but we're not too scared.
The storm is growing weaker after pummeling Jamaica, as well as St. Vincent and the Grenadines this week, leaving multiple people dead. In Barbados, storm surge destroyed boats used by locals for fishing, an industry that provides income for thousands of people on the island.
I never really experienced a system like this yet, at this magnitude, but yeah. I don't think that nobody wants to go through this yet.
Beryl is expected to strengthen once again as it enters the Gulf of Mexico this weekend. In Jamaica, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. An Ohio police officer is going viral for his efforts to help a mom find formula for her baby. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Kiwanis Park in Baxter Springs. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning to you, Shannon. Happy Friday.
Well, you as well. And the celebration continues for 4th of July all weekend.
All throughout the weekend. Yeah.
We'll tell you about that in a second. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week. Live and breaking and what's happening where you live. Beloved minister, pastor to many, Dr. Mac Evans. He started a church here in Joplin in 1972, where he was there until 2002. It was downtown in Joplin called Central Assembly. It became Central Christian Center. He passed away the 24th of June, but they had the services last Friday.
Yes.
A lot of people remember, of course, remember Dr. Evans. There he is there with Pat Boone, who had come to Joplin at one time.
Oh, wow.
His wife, Jo, survives him, as well as his 4 children. Really a wonderful family who really cares about the area, and he will be dearly missed and never forgotten, of course.
Absolutely.
Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now. Watch what you do with your fireworks when you're done. This happened on Island Lane the other night. It was exactly 1 year ago that after all the fireworks are done, the family gathers them all up, puts them in a trash can, and then kind of shove the trash can up against the side of the house. Well, a couple hours later, fire. As the fire from the trash can, they say it originated in that area, went up the side of the house, into the eave, and then into the roof line. That's a $612,000 house. It's actually listed right now. The family was preparing to move.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wow.
There's a for sale sign in the front yard. But it's unknown, what's going to happen. Of course, they've got insurance and a lot of things to work out necessarily. But
look at that damage from fireworks in the trash can up against the house. Unbelievable.
So put them in the trash, but keep it away from the house. And they say use a metal trash can if you can, or a bucket with water. No one was injured in that also. And our number 1 story, Joplin News First. Did you see this story? There's the exclusive video. That is the alien car, the Martian car. I don't know where they started, but they were going to Roswell, New Mexico to a festival or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that checks out. I feel like,
near St. Louis, it was stopped the first time. This was in Oklahoma. One of my friends, Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers, stopped it. How uncomfortable does that car look? I mean,
imagine
really,
how hot it is. I hope there's air conditioning in that spaceship.
Oh, there is not. And when you're driving that car, you got to get over to Wendy's, because you get that good, space food.
Get your Baconator and take it to space.
I think from like talking to different people, the reason why they got pulled over so many times, they were not traveling the minimum speed limit. On the interstate, it's 45 miles an hour. If you go below that, you're going to have troubles. Also, they had a frame around their license plate that you kind of couldn't see all the numbers. I know those glasses. I did that on purpose because those are the most ridiculous looking glasses. I hope they're having a good time.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
how fun.
They made it to New Mexico. They're safe.
Hope they're having an out of this world time.
I really was keeping vigil to see if I could catch them.
Love it.
That's in the Friends video. And our bonus story of the week, we're talking about fireworks.
Yes.
Of course, they've been going on for the last week, and they will continue going on. We were there the other night at Galena. We have a huge list. The list of everything, links to all of the events. You just have to click on it on social media, or you can go to our website, whichever one. Last night, Joplin had their fireworks. They moved it up about 15 minutes because it was raining.
Yes, and Pittsburgh postponed theirs to tonight.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So Hope City Church, I know Chris and his wife and family, they went out there. I mean, it's fun. Of course, all these events.
Beautiful displays.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
really, really neat. So tonight, we've got that whole list of who's going to be out tonight. Of course, you said Pittsburgh is going to postpone it.
Yep.
Baxter, Commerce, they'll do it on the dam at Disney. Down at Grand Lake, Monkey Island, Pineville will do it tonight. Then tomorrow night, Calvary Baptist Church, Columbus, Kansas, Eagle Rock at Table Rock, and others. Just go to our website.
Lots
all right?
of fun going on throughout the weekend. All right. Once again, Shannon, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Stick around. We're back with more right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:41 now on this finally Friday. We're starting with a live look from MoDOT camera, 32nd and Range Line in Joplin. We are looking good, got plentiful sunshine out there, and just a few remaining clouds, also from the MoDOT camera down in Neosho at US 60 and Missouri 59, looking back toward the west, toward Lusk Drive down there. On the future track, not much to show today. We've got the clouds, and they'll begin to gradually dissipate as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. We'll have a light northwesterly breeze. We're not worried about any significant heat index values or really anything at all. It's going to be a relatively decent day. So if you have today off, make sure you get out and enjoy it before the dangerous heat begins to return next week. Saturday, it's going to be a little bit warmer. Winds by the afternoon will end up shifting out of the south, and that's going to allow us to go near 90, maybe a couple of low 90-degree readings out there as well. So a little hotter, but not overly hot compared to what we've seen and what we're going to go back to seeing as we go into next week. As we go into our, into our Sunday, we've got chances for isolated to widely scattered pop-up showers and storms by late morning into the afternoon and overnight hours. A couple of these storms could be strong with some small hail, gusty winds, but as you can see, they're relatively isolated out there, and we're not expecting any kind of widespread severe weather. However, unlike traditional pop-up storms, some of these could continue into the late night and overnight hours into our Monday. Our camera at 7th and Range Line looking good. Again, just a few clouds out there, 69 degrees. degrees in Joplin. Temperatures around the area are ranging from the mid to upper 60s into the low 70s out there, so a much better start to the day and not nearly as muggy. There's a little bit of humidity, a little bit of dew point out there, but nothing extreme by any means. Got a, again, great start to the day. We'll be in the low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning with partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies as we head into the afternoon as well. Temperatures at or just a pinch below normal, which is something we haven't said in a while and won't say again for a while either, as we go again into the mid 80s with a light northwesterly wind. Heading into the evening, those skies will again start to clear across the area and we'll fall back into the mid 60s. So another great evening. Give your AC a break. Open up the windows if you can. Let a little of that cool air in there. Tomorrow, again, about 90, sunny. Pop-up storms Sunday, 92. And a few more storms, a few more clouds on Monday. It'll keep temperatures back down at or just below average. But again, does not last very long. Temperatures begin warming into the mid to upper 90s as we head toward the end of next week. We'll also see some additional chances for some pop-up storms by next weekend as well. So again, enjoy today. If you got the day off, it's going to be a beautiful one before that oppressive July heat returns. That's a check of your forecast. Now here's Elise with Consumer Watch.
Chris, thanks. Well, General Motors faces penalties for failing to comply with emission standards. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the automaker will pay nearly $146 million because 5.9 million older vehicles from the company do not meet federal fuel economy requirements. The EPA reports GM trucks and SUVs carbon monoxide emissions is 10% more on average than what the company initially claimed on its compliance testing. GM says it did not commit any wrongdoing and it did not fail to comply with the Clean Air Act. Well, a new study finds a surge in prescription drug prices in recent years. GoodRx reports the average price of prescription drugs dropped from about 37% in the last decade. The study shows Americans have already spent $21 billion out of pocket for prescriptions this year. The company says consumers are having the hardest time affording routine medication for chronic conditions and that insurance companies may not be covering as much as they are used to. Well, a Wisconsin dairy farmer is spreading the word on social media with more than 4 million views on TikTok. He's showing others how his small dairy farm is milking it in the modern age.
Hey there, TikTok! Dairy farmer Aaron Ninnemann's TikTok following is growing, including this video with more than 4 million views.
This cow here is wandering in to milk herself. You can see she came in at her own leisurely pace.
It all started when he was looking to modernize the farm a few years ago, but he couldn't find anything for small dairies like his.
The reason I started putting it all on TikTok was to give other small farmers, 60, 120, 180 cow guys, an option that, you can do something like this without spending millions of dollars.
Ninnemann Enterprises Incorporated in Wausau retrofitted a barn using Lely milking robots, an investment that is paying off.
We are currently milking 134 cows with our Lely A5 robots.
The robots don't end there. Aaron uses another Lely machine. He calls it a Moomba since it moves on its own, pushing feed closer to the cows.
So every hour on the hour it runs through to get rid of the task of going through 4 times a day with a broom or something like that. So this keeps the feed up close to the cows so they can continue eating.
Proving that through technology, small dairy farms aren't going anywhere.
It just makes it nice for a family farm that everything can get done kind of in a timely fashion, and yet it's profitable enough to keep on going.
Well, in an age where many smaller farms are struggling, this Wisconsin farm that uses robots and social media could offer new hope for the industry. And that's a look at our top consumer stories. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. One police department is getting a pretty strong reaction to a video shared on its social media page.
In the middle of the night, an officer asked grocery store workers to open up so he could help a mother.
A mother's frantic phone call leads to a late-night rush. Knocking on the door of this shuttered Miami Township Meijer.
I know there's people in there working somewhere.
That's police officer Corporal Hunter Willoughby, recorded on his body-worn camera, using every tool available to answer her plea.
One mighty bright light.
He's got a good reason to knock.
There is a mom who she said her milk dried up and she can't find anywhere to buy formula.
So he asks these workers to help.
Because I'll buy it for her and take it to her.
Determined.
Infant formula.
But a little stumped.
What the heck's the difference?
Workers step in to help him find what he needs.
What else you need? This is it. I just need formula. Yeah, she said she just doesn't have any formula and her breast milk is dried up. And her baby's a week old.
Yeah,
she had a bottle. Good thinking.
Making sure mom and baby can sleep safe and sound.
It brought a tear to my eye.
When Chief Mike Mills first saw the video, he knew he couldn't keep it to himself.
We get called for so many different variety of things that have nothing to do with the criminal justice system. And a lot of times the officers show up and they help out. And really that's what it's about. Officers get into this line of work to help.
The video liked on Facebook nearly 2,000 times, spreading a little good news in a world that could use a bit more of it.
This kind of stuff happens every day all around the country, just nobody hears about it.
It's really the definition of going the extra mile to serve your community. It's great to see.
Yeah, and it's great that those workers were there to
Yes,
open up the doors and heard
yes.
him knocking. I mean, Meijer stores, if you're unfamiliar, they're the size of a Walmart supercenter. So to hear him knocking at the front, that's certainly impressive that they were able to help him out and help that mother as well. Yes. I'm going to give you a little help too with a slightly better day across the area. Temperatures not nearly as hot, still a bit muggy, but not that bad. And we've got variable clouds through the day, and by the late afternoon and into the evening, they will begin to clear out, and we'll have mostly clear skies as we go overnight tonight. And Saturday, it's going to be a little warmer. Winds by the afternoon will shift out of the south, so we're talking temperatures about 90 degrees, maybe a couple of low 90s out there, but otherwise sunny and dry. By Sunday, though, we start to see a few more clouds. We've got some opportunities for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Now, we're not expecting widespread severe weather, but a couple of strong storms possible out there. But as you can also see on the future track, anything that we do see is going to be isolated to widely scattered at best as we go through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Unlike traditional pop-up storms, though, some of these could last into the overnight hours and carry into our Monday. Quick look at temperatures. We've got just a few clouds out there. Our camera 7th and range line, 69 in Joplin. The winds are calm. We'll have a light northwesterly breeze throughout the day today. We've got mid-upper 60s across most of Kansas, and as you sink a little further south into the east, we start to get into the low 70s, so considerably better than where we have been the last few days. As we get our morning started, again, we'll have those variable clouds, so partly mostly cloudy skies. Some of you will already be sunny, and we'll go about the low 80s by late morning out there, again, ahead of an absolutely gorgeous day. Dangerous heat does return to our forecast, unfortunately, and we'll talk about that, plus the news you need to know when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Fire crews in Carthage, Missouri Wednesday night battled a house fire authorities blame on improperly disposed of fireworks. When crews arrived, they found fire and smoke coming out of the right rear side of the newly constructed home near the garage doors. Preliminary evidence shows the fire started because of fireworks in a nearby trash can, which caught fire. Well, bike lovers in Joplin hung out at the Hideout Harley-Davidson dealership. The crew wanted to celebrate Independence Day with hot dogs and bikes. Harleys have been a part of American culture for over a century. Folks in Hepler, Kansas had their own celebration on the second day of their Ruritan Club Rodeo. However, there were plenty of Independence Day themed events, including a parade themed swimming through history, a cakewalk, and kids games. The rodeo kicked off at 8 p.m. with a fireworks display after that.
And we've got a great day out there. If you've got a 4-day weekend, enjoy it because it's going to heat back up next week. Mid-80s, partly cloudy skies, a light northwest wind. Skies will begin to gradually clear as we go through the evening and overnight, back into the mid-60s. We're going to be a little warmer tomorrow, 90 sunny, 92 Sunday with some pop-up storms. More storms on Monday keep us a little cooler again, back to the mid-80s, but again, short relief from the heat, as by the end of the week, we're back into the mid to upper 90s with a few additional storm chances by next weekend.
Alrighty. Well, thousands of turtle eggs have been relocated from a beach in Cancun on Mexico's Caribbean coast as the city's civil protection issued an orange alert as Hurricane Beryl approached. Around 10,000 eggs were being moved for their safety.
Wider efforts involving officials and volunteers were being put in place to protect some 105,000 eggs along 7.5 miles of coast. Beryl is expected to arrive at Cancun later today. So you got to take care of those sea turtles.
Yes,
the eggs can't move themselves.
No, and especially when, Hurricane Beryl and all the force that it's bringing is coming its way, you got to make sure that they are safe.
Yeah, and it could be up into South Texas by midweek,
Right.
and that may play a role in our weather later. It depends on the track it
and
takes.
it might
once
weaken as
yeah,
well.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, so, but still, nonetheless,
Right.
got to take care of all those things down there.
Absolutely.
Make sure you take care of yourself. Enjoy today because it's going to be a beautiful one. And we will see you back here today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.